Hiya guys, what is going on? Iveco here, and welcome to episode 6 of Make It Great Again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Need for Speed franchise. Now for those of you who don't know what the Need for Speed franchise is, let me explain it to you. The Need for Speed franchise is an arcade style driving game with a variety of different races against opponents, some being AI, some being other human beings. Of those we have drift races, where the highest score wins, then you've got to try and drift around corners to accumulate points. Sprints, which is the first person from point A to point B, and in circuit racing, which is the first person to complete a set amount of laps is the winner. The game comes with a vast variety of vehicles that you can buy with currency and from races played. You can also be a cop in some of the most recent games, going on the other side and busting races with a unique arsenal of weaponry, those including EMP and spike strips. Now, the Need for Speed franchise has been around for a long time, with the first game coming out in 1994, and the most recent being released in 2015, so it is safe to say that the franchise has endured and persevered to be able to survive this long. Now, the developers are predominantly Criterion and Ghost Games, although a lot of other developers have dabbled in the Need for Speed franchise. However, EA has always remained the publisher for this game, and now, I have covered this in my previous video, so I'll only go over this briefly. EA does not have the best reputation when it comes to gamers in the gaming industry, but there you go. I'm not going to go over that. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go back and look at that sexy previous FIFA video. But now I've given you the basic introduction, let's take a look at what is good about the Need for Speed franchise. Okay, now to take a look at what is good about the Need for Speed franchise, and my first point is, you can't deny that they are a resilient franchise. They've nearly lasted over 25 years, which is one of the longest lasting game franchises out there at this time. So whether or not you like or dislike the franchise, you have to commend them for that. Next, I like the fact that they are branching out with letting people play as the cops, and I do think that it is a great idea. We've never really experienced that side of the police chases, and it gives the franchise a fresh look even after so many years. I think that it is a good opportunity for them in upcoming games, and judging from the scores that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit obtained in 2010, it could be a new place to take the Need for Speed franchise. Another thing that Need for Speed does very well is bringing in a large variety of cars from different brands and companies, and by doing this it keeps their games fresh and up to date. They also make sure to add in any new cars that have been recently brought out into their games, which must please the car fanatics to be able to drive those cars. My next point is that there is a huge amount of customization options available to you. Now, in the most recent edition of Need for Speed, we were offered a huge amount of customization. Body kits, spoilers, front bumpers, fenders, canyons, sound systems, and just a few examples of customization. And when you combine that with the vast array of cars available too, it allows for endless opportunities for customization and to create your own perfect ride, which you can then take out onto the streets and go on some noobs. I also have to commend Need for Speed for the wide variety of music that they have in their games. No matter what I think about a specific Need for Speed game or title in the franchise, I can always rely on the fact that the Need for Speed soundtrack will always have great music to drive to. That's whether or not you're racing or if you are just cruising the streets. Moving on. The Autolog feature that has been in the last few titles of Need for Speed is a great addition for you. Now, for those that don't know what Autolog is, it is a system that tracks your times, whether you're racing or busting races in your single player campaigns. It then compares those times with your friends' times. It then sets you recommendations based off of these to try and beat your friend's time. This feature alone has added in extra hours into my game, where I've been trying to beat my friend's time, and then the joy of finally beating it to be embarrassed when your friend beats you 10 minutes later. Anyways, I think it is a small but great addition to the franchise. Finally, Need for Speed have also produced some great maps for their open world games that you can drive around. Whether you are a fan of the classics, Need for Speed Underground and Most Wanted, or the modern reiterations of these titles, you can always rest assured on the fact that the map will always be fun or interesting to explore. So I have to give them credit for that. Even while the most modern Need for Speed didn't get the greatest reviews, the map was still solid and held its ground. But okay. Now we have seen what is good about the Need for Speed franchise, let's move on to what is bad about the Need for Speed franchise and prohibiting it from becoming a great franchise again. Okay, now to take a look at the bad things about Need for Speed and what is prohibiting the franchise from becoming great again. Now firstly, I don't like the constant variations between each game and its features. One year we have weapons, then we don't. Then we get to play as a cop and then we can't. Next year we get to customize our cars, then when we don't get to customize our cars. I really think they need to find a solid medium, stick with it. Now when a Need for Speed game is announced at E3, you don't have a clue what you're going to get. Actually no, we can guarantee Autolog, which I do like, however having to always be online coming up again and again and again in your games, which moves me on nicely. Why do all your new games require you to have to always be online? Now whoa, in theory, I digress, it is an awesome concept being able to challenge friends and randoms from around the world and them having an effect on your career mode and having actual effects on the career. I think that's a great idea. However, when executed, not so great. Want to play single player? Get online. Don't have an internet connection? Fuck you. Want to scratch your back midway through that hard mode sprint? Nope, you're online. You want other people's races crashing into yours simultaneously while you're racing and have a virtual racing fucking mosh pit? No. Well, tough. You're online. But Luke, surely there must be a good reason for it always being online. And oh my god, you are so right. Oh my god, I've been a fool. The sole reason this game needs to be online, and other games need to be online, is so I can take awesome screenshots of me playing these games, so I can earn money. So when you look at my screenshots, I can earn money for my cars, so I can buy new cars and customize them. Really, Ghost? Really, Criterion Gaming? Really, guys? Normally, most people blame EA and give them the rag for these shenanigans, but no, not this time. Ghost and Criterion were the ones who made this an integral part of their games. And now, I don't think that it's EA's fault. Oh, I believe it's Ghost and Criterion's for making them include this. Now, I don't think that there shouldn't be any online play on Need for Speed. Far from it. I believe that you should have the option to play the campaign in single player or multiplayer, and you should have matchmaking for individual races, so if you want to go and find a sprint match, you can be able to without having to be playing the campaign and finding someone online and trying to get them to join it and whatnot. I mean, again, think about it. Not everyone has a stable internet connection. Being unable to play the game because you don't have a stable internet connection is going to piss people off, who then won't buy another game, which loses you customers and future sales, which I think is evidently not going to help the Need for Speed franchise. Right. Okay, triggered moment over. Well, not really. For this next bit, I'm going to have to be honing in on the most recent addition to the franchise and the 2015 game called Need for Speed. And to be honest, it was not a good game one bit. Now some of you may say the updates have helped it, and at the time of this recording, I don't believe so at all. And while you are, and then some of you may be asking, why are you mentioning it when you're talking about the franchise as a whole? And that is because we have some serious issues to go over in this game that have hurt the credibility of the franchise as a whole and need to be addressed. So I'm going to kick us off with gameplay, and let's go straight to difficulty levels in the AI, and what the sweet baby Jesus is going on in here. In the most recent Need for Speed game, we have no real concept of how difficult something is going to be. I mean, it might tell you it is on hard mode, but when you finish 20 seconds in front of the AI, you know something is seriously wrong. And, as you will see in a lot of these clips, I will end up crashing 4 or 5 times and still manage to finish first. Now that, in previous installments in the franchise, that would be absolutely unheard of, so why the hell is it here? On top of that, I go to do a mission on easy and it is nearly impossible to beat. Oh, what the hell? It's the days gone when easy was freaking easy and hard mode was hard mode? Is it now easy is hard and hard is easy? I don't even know. But I understand, right, why they're kind of doing this. I know that introducing new players into the franchise is important for the survival of the product, and keeping it at an easy entry level is advisable. But honestly, if I picked up this game for the first time, not playing a Need for Speed game before at all, I wouldn't struggle too badly with it. No. Quite the opposite. I'd probably rather be quite irritated at how stupidly easy that the game was and kind of feel insulted by how badly they think I am of a driver. And I don't think I'd want to pick up another Need for Speed game. And this is me referencing the new fans. God help you veterans of the series like me when it comes to picking up this game. I also have serious issues with the rubber banding AI. Now some of you may be asking me, what the hell is that? Let's say you're dominating the competition suddenly near the end of the race. You'll see the AI near enough put a proverbial rocket up his ass after the 80% mark and it will overtake you and win, even with a 20-second advantage. Now the icing on top of the cake here is you'll be in your Lamborghini Aventador with near enough 1,000 brake horsepower. They'll rock up in their Camaro with near enough 500 and still manage to beat you. Seriously. It also goes the other way too. If you're driving badly, as I do in a lot of these races, which you will see, the AI just drop their speed and let me shoot past them at the end, and now I can win the race. That is ridiculous. I may be old-fashioned gamer here, I might be a crazy guy here thinking this, but if you drive terribly, you shouldn't win. If you drive the best, you should win, and I cannot comprehend why this is not the case in this game. But let's move on to the more difficulty issues, and the cops on this are broken beyond belief, and they both suffer from stupid difficulty levels and the aforementioned rubber banding, where cops will end up teleporting to you right out of nowhere. They'll just literally teleport and go, "Hi there, bud. Yeah, you need to get your ass back running away." Ruins the point of hiding from them. That's before I even go to finding a cop in this game in free mode, which is insanely rare. You could donut outside a police station or smash up half the city and not have a cop chase you. And even when you do, there is no tracked heat. It only accumulates every pursuit you get into. So if I escape a tier 5 chase, the next time it will be reset, and the difficulty of the chase is back to tier 1. Why? I don't think the police officers in real life are goldfish and that they forget about them chasing you for 10 minutes. Could be crazy though, who knows? Fucking Illuminati, I don't know. It's absurd. Gone are the days of the intense police chases. Now are the days of outrunning the cops in reverse. And some of you may think I'm joking, but seriously, if you think I'm joking, watch this.
You want to do this run or what? Let me know real soon. Cheers.
Bruh.
Now, I will give them some credit. When you do get up to level 4, the chases jump insanely up in difficulty, and they will put in random spike strips and they will spawn up anywhere along with roadblocks, which I do like. I do like that they can be really challenging at this difficulty. But that is if you ever make it to that heat level, because trust me, it's a challenge to keep the cops with you. Not outrun them, keep them with you. If I can outrun these guys in reverse at 30 to 60 miles an hour, how easy do you think it will be if I'm driving properly? But even if you do get busted by the cops, all you do is pay the fines. No being arrested cutscene where, just like in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, where you get your absolute ass handed to you by a chick completely whooping your ass. No free strikes and your car's getting impounded system. Now when you're playing, you get into a police chase, it's a mentality of, who cares? I can easily outrun them, or if I do get caught, I can pay the fine with my money. No other repercussions, nothing else is going to happen. Screw it. Moving on. Let's go to this game's cutscenes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Now let me clarify once again. I do not mind cutscenes or the live acting method of cutscenes in games with live acting. In Need for Speed, when done well, cutscenes add substance into the game and make the game so much more interesting. The cutscenes in the 2005 Need for Speed Most Wanted added so much more to the game, which I think is one of the things that helped to make it such a good game. Less can be said for these cutscenes. Their acting feels forced and the dialogue is so cringy. Now, I'm not the most sociable person, but I don't think people constantly go around saying hashtag, 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 like come the fuck on, please.
Alright, I'm gonna post this. Hashtag risky devil, hashtag best night ever.
Best until next time.
Until next time.
Next time, yeah.
Ah, damn it, man. Furthermore, you can't skip these cutscenes. And now let's come to the nail in the coffin for these cutscenes. The product promotion. For fuck's sake. Now I understand that a company will sometimes generate cash flow by promoting other companies' products in their games. Crazy fact, ladies and gentlemen, games cost a lot of money to make. But what the hell were they thinking with the constant Monster Energy Drinks promotions? Seriously, you cannot go more than 2 cutscenes without seeing a Monster Energy Drink or logo. It makes the Need for Speed brand feel like a sellout and as a whole look tacky and cheap. Now 2 or 3 times popping up, not a problem. Understandable, they've got to do it to make the money. But it is unbelievable how many times you see a monster drink or logo come up. Now some of you may be skeptics and be like, shut up man, you're just exaggerating, you're taking this way too far. So fine, let's look at some cutscenes and play Spot the Monster. I'll even give you a call out of when it pops up. Let's go find some monster.
Not this again. You both earned it.
No,
Starting it off nice and slow, monster.
Wheels pass like a G. You jump on the iPhone.
Hashtag best night ever. Hashtag doing it like a G. Hashtag lit monster.
Let me tell you something about Magnus Walker, right? So the guy.
Dude, maybe we should put 2 cans of Monster in this shot so we can show off the product a little bit more, because if they don't see the one on the right, then they'll definitely see the one on the left. Monster, monster.
Let's do this. You ready to rock? Let's do it.
Dude, do you know what's more fucking gnarly than a set of frickin' Monster drinks? How about some Monster snapbacks and a jacket? Monster, monster, monster. Am I right?
Pay up, peace out. Traffic school's all online anyway.
Yeah. One ticket won't break you. Multiple offenses? You're gonna need bail money.
True, but you can't outrun the cops if you know how.
Drive in reverse. Well, at least if I get fucking pulled over by the cops, I won't have to worry about the bail money, because Monster are clearly paying me enough to promote the fucking products. Monster, monster, monster.
It's a real competition. Come on, drink with the big boys. Welcome back from the dead, brother.
Welcome back.
You know what? I'm done. Fuck the monster game, I'm done. There's 5 of you, including myself, being the protagonist in this game, and you're in a frickin' diner, and the only thing you could have come up with was Monster Energy drink. Did you not think cappuccino, frappuccino, ractagino? Ractagino? That's a Star Trek reference. Moving on. Milkshakes, tea, coffee, chocolate, juice, no, none of them came to mind. You just felt like, fuck it, dude, let's get Monster Energy drink. Fucking monster, 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 monster. I'm fucking done playing the Monster Energy game. I'm done. I'm fucking triggered. I'm done. See what I mean? That was a snippet of them. Anyways, moving on. There is a total of 49 minutes of cutscenes you get in this game. Sometimes I'm left pondering if I was playing Need for Speed or watching Need for Speed movie. I don't think in upcoming games they should get rid of the cutscenes or even the live acting. I will admit, in some scenes it was actually pretty damn good. But they need to learn from what they did here, as this was not a good example of how to use cutscenes in the game or how to promote other people's products. If this done anything for me, it didn't make me want to go out and buy a fucking Monster Energy drink, which kinda wasn't the whole point of you putting their product in the game, you know? Anyways, finally, the customization that was hugely bragged about as a unique selling point for this game, it was underwhelming. In Need for Speed, car customization is an integral part of the game, and showing off your unique car really appeals to a lot of people. Most of the lower end cheap cars, they did a fantastic job with so many options to choose from, like your spoilers, sound system, bumpers, body kits, windows tints, and all of that malarkey. However, when you get towards the higher tier cars, prime example being the Lamborghini Aventador, you can only customize a minute amount of things, and at that I think it's only like 2 to 3 things if you're lucky. If you're going to let us customize in a Need for Speed game, don't half-arse it, and allow us to customize all the cars properly, or just do not do it, period. Now, many of you may be wondering, dude, why are you being so vicious and tearing the new game apart, when you're supposed to be talking as a franchise as a whole? And this is because of the impact it has had. Now, I would consider myself a huge Need for Speed fan, and I've been playing the games and bought all of the games since Most Wanted 2005 came out. And the most recent installment of this game, and how badly it has been executed, has honestly made me, for the first time ever, truly question whether or not I want to be a fan or part of this franchise anymore. I'm literally at the crossroads, whereas in this next game, I'm honestly thinking, if it turns out shit, then I don't want to buy another Need for Speed game and say I'm done with the franchise. Right. Anyways, we've looked over the lengthy problems that are wrong with Need for Speed. Let's go and have a look at some solutions to help make this franchise great again. Okay, now to take a look at the solutions and how to make the franchise great again. First of all, I really think that they need to really refine the game and have a solid direction for the upcoming games. I think they need to find one solid formula, like maybe Need for Speed Hot Pursuit's formula, and then stick to that, and build off of that. Have it at the core that you have a cop campaign and a racer campaign. Then branch off from that, add in 2 separate and strong storylines to go along with that. Then branch off of that, add in your cutscenes to add in substance to the game, add in a back storyline, characters that you care about, protagonists, antagonists, etc. Then that's the foundation there. You then mix in the cars and possibly the customization options or your other features, make sure auto logs involved and whatnot. You have a solid start. I think what Need for Speed has been lacking for a long time is a solid story and a concept. I mean, the last 2 games I can think of that had a solid story and structure were 2005's Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon. Now, while many people do not like Need for Speed Carbon, you have to admit they both set out goals and they both had a solid story, starting off with the Need for Speed Most Wanted and concluding in Carbon. And these games were both highly praised by gamers and the media alike. And I mean, yes, they did get it for a lot of the graphical updates that they had during that time, but it was also for the story. The story felt genuine, it felt interesting, you wanted to get down to doing it and whatnot, whereas I haven't felt that feeling for a long time when playing Need for Speed games. I want to be part of a story. If you're going to give me a game like Need for Speed, have it that it's got a solid story to it. Maybe work alongside something with the film. I mean, there might be some licensing issues and whatnot, but possibly work alongside the film, maybe see what you can do in that sense. Adding in that really strong storyline, I think, is one of the key secret sauce components that they're missing right now. It could really help the game bring the franchise back into greatness. Next, I think they need to get rid of the always online for the story modes, and playing the game online has to always have an internet connection. I think they should retain the option to play a multiplayer campaign if you choose. Now, they will have to offer some incentives, maybe double your reputation playing online, or maybe adding new game modes like form a crew of cops or racers depending on what they do, and allow you to get exclusive cars online. Or maybe add in a multiplayer crew versus crew challenge where you could race for money, rep, or maybe even pink slips. I know myself, I'd love to play a game mode like that where I could get a group of my friends versus another group of somebody else's friends and challenge them to different races, and people show off their different skills and whatnot. You add in rankings and a leaderboard to that, and it could even be taken into money-making tournaments. What does all of this do? This gives your game good promotion, because you're having people coming up and turning up to these tournaments or watching these tournaments on Twitch, which is going to be only promoting your game and helping you. But anyways, back to the point at hand. It is kind of evident that always being online has not worked in the last 2 years of Need for Speed games, and I think it hasn't worked overall for a while. It's not just them, the Hitman franchise is getting just as much backlash for having their game always online, among other things. I fucking can't stand the episode. Another video altogether. For now, I think they should keep autolog as well, as I think it's a great little feature that goes under the radar, and there's nothing quite like smashing your friends' recommended times on autolog. I think they should get rid of the screenshots feature. I don't think anybody uses it, and I don't see the point of it. But to summarise, I think that they should only keep multiplayer to online races and matchmaking, and for the single player campaign if people somewhat choose to play it. Maybe consider adding in new modes if they feel confident enough to branch out. But that brings me on nicely. Next, I want to address gameplay issues. I think by taking multiplayer out of the game and always being online, and refining what the Need for Speed game's direction is going to be, that should help significantly improve gameplay and reduce issues like lack of customization and whatnot. They could possibly add in new features as well. Do bear in mind that Criterion Games are one of the developers on this game, and these guys have made the award-winning game Burnout Paradise, so they have some experience in this genre. From that, plus their 2 years they've already worked on Need for Speed, I think more features should be added, but only with the intention to stay and not dip out after a year. However, I still feel they need to add in things like full customization for all cars, potentially adding in weapons that you can use, bringing back car dealerships so you have to go to specific car dealerships to pick up cars instead of just getting them from your garage. More cars and others. Now, I know I did say that there was a good selection of cars in the good section, but with racing games like Forza Horizon 2 bringing out 200 plus cars at launch compared to the most recent Need for Game's small 75 cars, I think they need to start adding more cars. Maybe even some out of the ordinary cars too. I wouldn't mind using like a Range Rover to outrun the cops or smash through blockades, or to do missions to rack up fines and then outrun the cops in the Range Rover. That'd be pretty sweet. But they certainly need to start getting more cars out and working and fixing and amending gameplay issues and adding features. Now, more gameplay elements here. I've got to look at the difficulty issues, AI rubber banding, and the cops needing to be fixed. Now, while some may argue that the big update for Need for Speed 2015 fixed these issues, that's great, but it should never have come out in that state in the first place. I really hate people who defend their games by saying stuff like that you should, oh dude, they fixed it, it's come out like that. It shouldn't have come out like that in the first place. And now a lot of you may be thinking that I was absolutely brutal in the bad section, that I was just being completely nitpicking and whatnot. But that's the thing. I love this franchise so much that I want to be brutal with it, because if it possibly makes a change, yeah, this video might get maybe like 20 views or something. But I want to voice my opinion in the hopes that maybe one of these mother muchachos randomly sees it and maybe think, huh, good idea, maybe we'll incorporate that. I mean, it's 1 in a million chance, but you never know. I really think that coming on to that, that's why I'm so harsh about it, and they need to fix this. I think that if they do this again, like I am with a lot of Need for Speed fans at the moment, this next game will be make or break for them and me. Whether or not I will continue to support the franchise or leave it, or move on to other racing games. I've already picked up Forza Horizon 2 and I thought that was an amazing game. I know myself as a loyal Need for Speed fan, I'm at this crossroad at the moment. And I'm honestly looking at Forza Horizon 3 and then possibly a Need for Speed game coming out this year and going, well, which one do I want to choose? And I think if a terrible Need for Speed game comes out, or a Need for Speed game that's mediocre compared to Forza Horizon 3, then I think I'm honestly going to say that's it after coming up near enough to freaking 10 years of me buying Need for Speed games that I will honestly be done. Next, I hope that they bring back more realistic cutscenes and more real life acting. Now, yes, I did go on a bitch fit about the monster production and whatnot. I think they should look at the script. It needs to be seriously looked at, and they need to cut out some other words, cut out some of the stuff like hashtags or all the bro fists or all of that shit. And not every cutscene needs a single sponsor in it. The situation we had in Need for Speed 2015 cannot happen again with these cutscenes. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible state to see the franchise in. And I really hope that they amend this in a new game. I really hope that they do bring back the live acting cutscenes and maybe give them what they missed out in 2015 Need for Speed. But those have been some of my solutions. If you have your own solutions, feel free to throw them in the comment section below. But anyways, I'm going to move on swiftly and let's go on to my final thoughts on whether or not I think the Need for Speed franchise could ever be made great again. Okay, now for my final thoughts on whether or not the Need for Speed franchise can be made great again. And my verdict is yes, but not fully. Now for those of you going, what the fuck are you on about? Let me explain. I think the Need for Speed franchise can without a doubt become great again. It needs to be worked on and they need some solid direction with this. I think they can propel the franchise back into one of the top racing games again. However, I don't think it will ever become as great as the good old days of Need for Speed. Now, a lot of Need for Speed fans, and these are hardcore fans, dream of a 2005 Most Wanted or Underground to be redone or remastered and released. But I don't think that will make the difference, to be honest. I mean, when I think of the 2005 Need for Speed Most Wanted or Underground games, I can tell you what is great about them, and how if they were remastered or reworked, that they would be great games. However, I don't think you would still get that same buzz you did when you completed Most Wanted for the first time, or outran a long pursuit, or used a pursuit breaker to take down 20 pursuing cops again. For a lot of fans, old Need for Speed games like Underground and Most Wanted felt like a drug, and the first time you took them in the sense, or you played the games, they were sensational and the best thing ever. But then you had to keep taking them, or in this case, buying new versions of the Need for Speed games, and they never quite lived up to that previous high or feeling you had playing those original games before. And sadly, I don't think EA or Criterion or Ghost games are ever going to truly be able to create the perfect game like Most Wanted again. I think that's too unfeasible of a goal. It's going to give you that it's not going to give you that buzz inside like the old games. And I can't fault EA and company for trying. They have tried their hardest to do this, but they simply cannot do it. And I think if they ever want to make the series great again, they need to accept this and try and reshape the brand into something new and unique that will appeal to the old fans, rather than trying to cater to them by attempting to emulate the old games. Because it's evident that they've already tried to emulate these old games and it hasn't worked. But there you have it, ladies and gents, my thoughts on how to make the Need for Speed franchise again, and if it can be made great again. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure to give the video a like if you liked it, give it a subscribe for some more sexy ass content, and leave some comments down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm full of shit? Did you get triggered when we were playing the monster game? Yeah. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to check out the Twitch, Twitter and Facebook links in the description below for more awesome stuff, and make sure to go check out Twitter. We will be hosting the vote for the week after's Make It Great Again video. This week's next Make It Great Again video will be the Call of Duty franchise. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to sign off. I've been Mr. Iveco, and you've been you. Peace out, guys.
That it feels right.